Good morning. Good morning. I decided to go live because a lot of us entrepreneurs, a lot of us business owners, we start our days by taking care of so many other people other than ourselves. And it's really time for us to start our days by investing in ourselves, whether that's in terms of wellness, going to the gym, doing yoga, meditating, or investing in our business. So I decided that I am going to be doing 30-minute sessions every single day for the next 30 days on just talks, so business tips. So, welcome to the first of many morning business talk series. My name is Satara Brown. I am a business consultant. I have been one for the past 6 years. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 11 years. And I really decided to do this live because the other day, and it's funny because I'm new to this, right? I never did a live before. Like, let me move this out of my viewing. But I decided to go live because I did a workshop. Hold on, guys. All right. These are just the quirks, so it's not gonna be perfect, right? So I did a live workshop last week for a group of women entrepreneurs and business owners, and the topic was marketing. And who doesn't want more clients, right? So I did a 30-minute session, which I was like, there is not enough time to get through all of this in 30 minutes, but I stuck to a strict schedule, and my team, through my business, SB Consulting, they had a jam-packed um, packet of information to give out to these women that were tangible items that they could implement in their business. So I was like, you know what? I got a lot of great feedback from this workshop. So I am going to let other people know about this. And with that being said, if you want the resources that I'm going to discuss, drop a comment in the comments letting me know, and I'll reach out to you. I'll send you a link. So, first things first, we all want more clients because we want more business, we want more money, we need the revenue for our businesses. And a lot of times we can feel stuck because it's like, I'm really great at what I'm doing, but how come I'm not attracting my clients? I post all the time, but like people are like liking and engaging in my stuff, but they're not converting to clients. So what am I doing wrong? Um, Number one, you need to do an audit of your social media, right? And we can't talk about business in 2026 without mentioning, excuse me, social media. Digital marketing is a huge part of running a business, whether you want to admit that or not. So, you need to, if I go to your page right now, like drop your Instagram below. If I go to your Instagram or to your LinkedIn or to your Facebook or whatever it is that you use, will I know, one, based off of your bio, what you do? Do I know that I'm in the right spot? Because if you let's use me for an example. If you're a business consultant, I don't need to see in your bio who you're married to, that you're a dog mom, and that you have 4 children. That is just not relevant. And like that's the first like red flag, right? Like if I'm looking for a business consultant, your personal life doesn't have much to do with why I want to hire you, or why you're the person for me. So you have to remember that your social media in today's day and age is your resume. A lot of people are hiring people without doing reference checks, without even asking for resumes. They're just going based on how you show up on social media. So it is very, very, very important. And a lot of people's first impressions of you is how, what they view you as based off of your social media. I'm going to try to send this out to my Instagram and to my Facebook just to share with my followers because like I said, this is something new. And we're gonna shoot for 6:30 every single morning. Um, yeah, so what does your bio look like? We need to know, right? And then like even if you have a 9 to 5, if your 9 to 5 is not relevant to what you do in your business, we don't need to know that information either. So do that audit of your bio and make sure you make those changes. Make sure it's very clear. And then even in terms of the work that you do, right? Um, I found that we undersell ourselves a lot, right? And now I'm not, excuse me, I am not preaching to oversell, um, ourselves, right? But what I am saying is that um you need to be as descriptive as possible, right? A lot of times we're in jobs and the title is receptionist. When you're actually your job duties actually include all of the work of an office manager, right? You don't need to embellish and say that you're an office manager, but you can use language that surrounds how you managed and operated an office, right? Quick story, when I was an intern for a state elected official, I managed her office. I was like 20 years old. I was in college. She was a new elected official. And because she was a new elected official, she didn't have a budget for staff. Um, and because I had experience or working as an intern for another elected official, I became that manager, right? I'm not going to say that I'm out here. I'm not going to embellish and say I'm out here managing things and all of this stuff. I'm the office manager, but I am going to let them know that I ran and operated and manage in that sense the office, right? We get wrapped up on titles so often that they become our identity, and that's not what we're doing over here. So the second part of your Instagram or your feed, even your stories that you're posting, right? What does any of that have to do with your business? So if you have a bunch of pictures on your story about your dog and how you like sunshine, and someone is just doing a quick scan, you're probably not going to be the person for them. Now, I'm not saying not to post your personal life, but do it with discernment, right? Maybe for every 5 business posts, you might post one thing that's a little personal. Maybe instead of posting all of your friends' happy birthday posts on your feed, you do it on your story instead. So those things are really important. And then when you're looking at what you do post for your business, you need to be very honest with yourself, because a lot of times we're like, I know what I do it great, and I'm able to communicate it, when in reality, we're not good at communicating what we do because it's like second nature to ourselves. So it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, they know what I do. No, we don't. We don't know you from a hole in a wall. You might be popular in your hometown, but we don't know. So you need to be able to communicate that through what you're posting online. And so that can look very, very different, right? But before you even start posting, you need to know who your target audience is. If you sell shampoo for curly hair girls, you are not marketing to the girls with straight hair, right? You're not marketing to men who have no hair, right? So you have to really fine tune who you're marketing to, because marketing is not a one size fits all, right? So now let's go even deeper, right? Maybe your audience is curly hair girls um who swim a lot, right? So maybe you're not really marketing to the New York girls in the winter, right? Because where are they swimming? So maybe you're your clientele base is heavily in Florida, right? So you want these girls to be able to have their luxurious, well nourished, well taken care of curls, but how are they going to find you, right? So you need to make sure that your content is appealing to that audience. And I actually have a tool available that is a content calendar because we need to post strategically. We can't just be posting, right? And even if you do more than one thing, it needs to be in an organized fashion. And what does that look like? Maybe on Mondays you post something that's educational or informative. So you are telling women the benefits of using this conditioner to seal in moisture after you swim for 14 hours, right? And that they're like, oh, I didn't know that this would, oh, and it locks it in and it protects the chlorine. It's just pure educational. All marketing is not hard selling. A lot of marketing is soft selling, right? So this educational piece, it's like, oh, I got your attention. We also have to remember that there's 7 points of contact when it comes to marketing. Someone has to see what you have going on at least 7 times before they're like, oh, I'm ready to buy. It's very seldom that someone is going to buy the first time, right? And when you're posting, you have to keep this in mind because although it's not always a hard sell, you providing information makes people more invested in you and makes you also more trustworthy, right? So then maybe on Tuesday, you post Tip Tuesday, right? So now we just did the educational piece, but now maybe you're doing a tutorial of how to actually use the conditioner and that's it, right? We're still not selling. We're not saying go to my DM and buy right now. We're not saying any of that. Maybe on Wednesday, it's a product photo, right? Or it's a behind the scenes production of what goes on, how you're bagging a packaging an order, right? So now they're like, oh, I'm really into this brand. Like, and she packages her own orders, or she has a warehouse, or she has this team, or oh my goodness, like I'm a small business owner too. And I always got to chase the mailman down. And you know what? Maybe even I want to buy her product, but she's also giving me some good advice because maybe like I should just like start shipping my stuff out on Wednesdays because it's a better time for the post office, right? So now Thursday and Friday come and there's not a certain number of times per week that you have to post. You don't have to post every day. You don't need to post five times a week. You need to get into a rhythm though. That makes sense, right? So we have our educational posts and we have our tip, then we have our behind the scenes entrepreneur life. And then maybe on Thursday we have a testimony, but that testimonial is not like the basic here's the before and after picture. It could literally be like how Cardi B and Beyonce, they did so much soft marketing that when it was time for them to drop their products, it sold out. It's sold out. I don't know what it is because I'm really not into the celebrity world, but I know for a fact that for years, Cardi has been showing how she uses all these homemade products and now her hair is down here, right? So now when she drops something, we already know the proof of concept is there. We want to buy, right? And then I don't really know what happened with Beyonce, but I know that when she was in New York recently for her for Jay-Z's tour, that she cut his hair or was shown cutting his hair at the Yankee stadiums or wherever in New York. But to me, that was a marketing thing in terms of, and now it makes me think, oh, all of these years he's been growing his hair out. He's been cooking up and we didn't even know. And then she dropped this hair care line a year or 2 years, 3 years ago, not too long ago. And it wasn't, people talked about, oh, his hair looks terrible. He needs to cut it, blah, 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 all this stuff. But now in my mind, and maybe it's just the marketing in me, correct me if I'm wrong. It shows like, oh, she came out with a hair care line because she just grew his hair and it's nothing to cut it because having long hair wasn't even the point. the point was to show proof of concept. So now everybody wants her stuff, right? And it does work. And we don't need to even debate over whether it works or not, right? I was on Threads and I was like, I don't want to hear nothing about any type of Beyonce slander when it comes to her hair care line, because the proof is in the pudding. So now, maybe you are doing a video, a reel of you doing your little sister's curly hair. Or maybe and you didn't even show the before and after. Her hair is just very luxurious, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I want my curls to be that popping. And then on Friday, you could post, oh, the weekend's here. It's been a long week. It's time to do a cleanse. It's time to clean out all of everything that's been holding you down. And it could be a picture of you in the bathroom like this with, eucalyptus in there, your product. And then the call to action should be to go to your site, right? So all week you have been leading these people up to buy something that you have, right? And it works. So when you're posting, I think a lot of times we think, oh, just post more, post more, post more, post more. But no, excuse me, if there's no strategy behind it, it doesn't make sense. And then we need to be very conscious of the hashtags that we're using. We all know that Instagram now limits us to only 5 hashtags. So if you're talking about hair care, if you're talking about curls, we need to, I was going to say, you don't want to hashtag straight hair, but you might want to, because some of the straight hair girls, they might want to get back to their natural curl pattern, right? Maybe they got a perm in 3rd grade and their natural curl pattern has been messed up since then. So maybe you do want to write that. I'm going to tag that, right? But you have to be strategic in what you decide to hashtag, because that's how people are going to find your page. And if you're hashtagging, if you want to be specific to women in Florida or women in the Caribbean, you can hashtag those things, but you also don't have to niche all the way down. For instance, I'm a business consultant. I'm not going to hashtag New York unless I'm doing an event in New York, because I'm a business consultant and I work remotely, so I can be anywhere, right? So it doesn't matter the location, because we never have to meet in person for me to effectively assist you with your business. So I created a marketing checklist and it goes through all these different things, right? And it also asks you, what are your services? What are your offerings? Because sometimes we feel like we're do everything, right? You got the conditioner, you got the shampoo, you got the hydrating conditioner, you have the scalp stimulator, you have all of these things. And sometimes less is more, right? I don't even know what all of this. I don't know the difference between clarifying shampoo, cleansing shampoo, hydrating shampoo. Which one do I need? And maybe there's some that I really promote because that's what my community has shown to need and like. And maybe there's some that we have a more limited stock, right? So you need to flush all of these things out when you are just planning your content. And again, I said that I do have a content calendar available that helps you really choose what you're going to be posting and when you're going to be posting it and the frequency. And then, a big part of that is looking at the analytics, right? What's working and what's not working. And you should be doing this on a weekly basis and make changes as you go. So how is this all going to get you new clients, right? How are you going to get more clients? So you need to have a call to action, and outside of your social media, you need to have some type of mechanism to either or both. One, collect emails, right? So maybe you have a landing page where it's in your bio and people can go and they can put their emails or their phone numbers or both. And that's how you can stay communicated with your clientele and potential clientele. They say that if you have, word on the streets is, if you have 1,000 email subscribers, that's a six-figure business. You can have a six-figure business without having that, but it's important to grab and retain people's information off of social media, because remember, there was a point in time many moons ago when there was no social media. And so if Instagram crashed today, you need to be able to still get in touch with your clients and with your potential clients and with your past clients. So that's important to have, because you could do all this posting and then like they go to your profile to click to buy, and where am I going, right? So a landing page is important, or a mechanism to collect emails. Another thing that is important is there needs to be some type of mechanism and system for people to buy your service or purchase your product, right? Um, it's not in the DMs. It is not in the DMs. Let's do business, okay? It's not in the DMs. You have to create systems so that your business is not dependent on you to make that sale, right? So you could be sleeping and someone can they see your page. Oh yeah, this is great stuff. I've been meaning to buy this. It's 2 a.m. I'm finally gonna buy it. I got extra money today. My taxes came. They need to be able to click a button and get what they want. The worst thing to do is to like have people interested in buying your stuff and your website has broken links. You don't have a website. Your website is outdated. Um, and they can't get what they want when they want it, because most people, they're moving on to the next thing. Like, oh, I couldn't get it here. Like, I was iffy about it anyways. I'm just gonna go get it from, instead of Beyonce, I'm gonna go get it from Cardi B. So you have to have that set up, whether you have like a link tree or some other kind of server in your Instagram profile, so you can have multiple links. You need to have that there. And yeah, so I think that that was enough for today. I said that I'm going to keep these at 30 minutes. We're at 22 minutes, so I do have some time to speak a little bit more. In the last part I am going to mention about these clients. Once you get a client, you need to continue to nurture that client, right? Because we love reoccurring clients. If you, and I'm going to be getting a little deep right now, but like if you offer a hair care line for curly hair girls, you need to be sending follow-up emails. You need to be educating them via email, not just on social media. You need to be active, right? They need to know that their neighbor is here, their neighbor is available, right? Because it's so easy, and so many different products and services that are similar are available, that it's just easy to move on to the next thing. So you need to be that annoying neighbor, but not too annoying. Like maybe you send out 2 emails a week, right? Maybe you send out a text message once a week. Whatever that rhythm is, you have to continue to be consistent outside of social media. So social media is only one marketing mechanism, right? Email marketing is totally different. Maybe you do a newsletter once a month. Maybe if they haven't shopped in a while, you send out something and offer them a discount. But you do have to nurture those people who have bought from you. You have to nurture your potential clients. And yeah, so those are my tips on how to get more clients. You need to be very, very, very clear on your messaging, your offerings, and your services. You also need to be very, very clear on who your target audience is. If you need help with these two things, one, drop your Instagram below or DM me on Instagram, Satara Brown, and I'll do a quick audit of your Instagram and I'll let you know my thoughts. 30 seconds, real quick, right? And then 3, you need to make sure that you are showing up and communicating to that target audience and you're communicating those services and products that you do offer. And it needs to be clear. And then four, there needs to be some type of mechanism in place, that a system in place. And I'm going to say the word system so many times in the next 30 days, because us as entrepreneurs, a lot of times we don't have any systems. We rely on ourselves to do absolutely everything, and things fall through the cracks. And on top of things falling through the cracks, we're not able to scale at the level that we need to and want to, because one, we don't even have any written processes or policies or procedures, right? And then two, everything takes for us to do it, and you can only do so much. Everyone needs a team. Excuse me. Everyone needs a team, and you need to have standard operating procedures so that your team knows what to do, or that future team knows what to do. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. I was going to say next week, but I forgot that every single day for 30 days I'm doing this. But yeah, so you need to have standard operating procedures. You need to have systems in place. So you need to have that system in place so that you can make sales in your sleep. And I'm not going to sell you a dream. I'm not going to let you know that this is going to happen overnight. You're going to wake up and you have all these notifications on your phone. It's like, oh my God, my Shopify is popping. It's not like that. You know, a lot of entrepreneurs, or I don't know what they are, influencer entrepreneurs, they pump this making 10K your first month. That's probably not going to happen, right? It can happen, but it doesn't, you don't just quit your job and poof, that's what happens, right? And this is coming from someone, me, who has been an entrepreneur for 11 years. I have been a full-time entrepreneur at times, for short periods of times. I've been a full-time employee somewhere, a part-time employee somewhere, sometimes both, and an entrepreneur as well. Excuse me. And almost 365 days ago, almost a year ago, I made the decision that I'm like, hey, I am not going to keep playing the field. I am going to just be an entrepreneur. No, let me not say just be. I'm going to go all in on entrepreneurship, because I'm splitting myself. And although I am leaving security, comfort, I'm leaving that guaranteed paycheck, it's time to bet on myself. It's time to put in and pour in fully and totally 150% to myself and what I'm doing, instead of showing up as the best employee that I can be and then just giving whatever is left over to my business. And that's another reason why 6:30 a.m. set your alarms. Don't even, no matter of fact, don't even get up at 6:30. Get up at 6, because I need you teeth brush, face wash, so you're awake when you are listening to these lives, because you have goals. You can achieve anything that you want to and need to, for yourself, for your family. And again, we always think about other people. We need to think about ourselves first. What fills our cup? What needs to be done? And how can I get there? And how you're going to get there is putting in the work and utilizing the proper resources, right? And I say that because on social media, on the internet, on YouTube, on whatever, ChatGPT, AI, Claude, there's so many resources available, but you have to vet those resources to ensure that it's the information that you need. The information that Joe Schmo needs might not be the information that you need. So you need to have a viable source. So I just became that. Share this with your friends. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Comment down below if you need the marketing health checklist, if you need the content calendar. My team told me that we're going to package this up and sell it, but y'all hear it first. So y'all get first dibs for free, absolutely free. I'm all about sharing information, people learning from my mistakes, and seeing other people do better than what I've done, because I lack resources all through my entrepreneurship journey. I just winged it. I figured it out on my own, but I learned so much that I want to share this information with you all. So I hope to see you back here tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Go to sleep a little bit earlier, all right? Because we got things to do. Enjoy the rest of your day and stay encouraged. Your goals are closer to being achieved than you think.